My parish, my commitment, our future. St. Mary's is a home I've shared with you since 1963. I was confirmed, married, baptized 2 children, and have been a next-door neighbor since 1974. I have a strong feeling of ownership of St. Mary's. The volunteering I've participated in allows me to demonstrate my connection and need to help where I can. Because of the wide range of ministries here, there is always an opportunity to make a difference and fill a need. I have a deep sense of God's blessings in my life. I had a list in my head of situations I thought I'd have to deal with in my life. None of the curveballs that God threw me were on that list. I've learned instead of asking why me, I needed to ask, okay, God, what do you want me to learn from this? The answers would come along with the peace that only God can offer, showing me once again who's in control and giving me an appreciation of the blessings sent to me. I'm very grateful for my many blessings, tangible and intangible. Through that gratitude, I feel supporting St. Mary's financially is important. Tithing is a fulfilling private way for me to thank God. I can never outgive God. My parish, my commitment, our future.
Today I'm going to talk about numbers and not the ones in the Old Testament. I want you to remember 4 numbers. The first one is 10.7 million. That's the amount of our parish debt. It sounds like an incredibly large number and maybe even hard to overcome. But the other day at one of the awareness sessions, a woman from the back said, we're about 1,500 families, aren't we? If we divide 10.7 million by 1,500, you've got about $7,000. She said, I can't pledge or give 7,000 immediately to St. Mary's, but if I break it down further and I say 7,000 over, say, 7 years is about $1,000 a year. Now you're going to conduct a 3-year capital campaign, so $1,000 a year times 3 years, I could make a $3,000 pledge. And that $1,000, it's about $20 a week. I mean, how many decisions do we each make in our household each and every week where we spend at least $20 multiple times? I would be remiss in starting out with just the debt. The debt is a result of having, about 8 years ago, constructed the Parish Life Center down the street. And how many of us, how could we imagine our parish without that facility? The next number I'd like to talk about is 2.1 million. 2.1 was a number that a consultant came. Maybe some of you participated in some interviews. And this consultant came back to us and said, I think I could raise for the parish about 2.1. Well, I had, in the first go-around of this, a list of bullet points that I was going to talk to about 2.1, and someone came up to me after 5 o'clock Mass and said, why talk about, why not, about something you don't want to do? 2.1 was a motivating number for us. It brought together a number of people from the parish into what is called the Partnership Council. We believe we cannot accept what would be like a mediocre number, but we have to strive for a better number, a better result. So that takes me to my third number, which is 4.2 million. If we work together, we can raise, I believe, 4.2 million. And if we do that, we should not have to conduct another capital campaign for at least 5 years. We would see the debt drop from 10.7 million to 8 million over that period of time. We would not be forced to make substantial additional cuts to our parish operating budget. We would really start putting this parish back on stable financial ground. If 1,500 households each did a pledge of $3,000, we'd raise 4.5 million. So again, it's more than that target. As an aside, the earlier in the 3-year cycle that people make contributions to this campaign, the more principal we can pay down on the debt. The final number I'd like to talk about is 1. I cannot tell each of you what to pledge any more than you could tell me what to pledge. So the 1 I'm asking you to remember is me or you. Each one of us needs to listen to Father Bauman next Sunday when he preaches on this campaign. Each one of us needs to respond in our own way the best we can. Each one of us doing just that will help make this campaign a success. So the 4 numbers are 10.7 million, which is our debt, 2.1 million, which would represent a Band-Aid on the debt, 4.2 million, which will restore our parish to stable financial condition, and the whole thing being done by each one of us. This weekend, Peggy, Tom, and I are sharing our observations at all the Masses. Next weekend, Father Bauman will address the parish on the importance of my parish, my commitment, our future. And on the weekend of November 20th and 21st, each of us will be bringing our pledges forward on Commitment Sunday. Thank you.
A few months back, I was contacted by Jack to attend a partnership council meeting. That campaign committee had been already meeting for several months, and they'd accomplished a great deal. A lot of work had already been done, so at that particular meeting, I was feeling a bit like an outsider. Despite that, by the end of the meeting, I was invited to lead one of the campaign subcommittees. And while I said that I would, I realized this would likely be a large time commitment. I left wondering what I'd just gotten myself into. The thoughts I'm about to share are for those of you who might feel that this campaign is being done to you as opposed to for the health of our parish. I suspect I might have been feeling that way myself, but for my involvement recently in the campaign. The comments are shaped by the campaign theme, my parish, my commitment, our future. My parish. I'm Catholic and I love being Catholic, and I really love the Eucharist. There is no other place for me but the church. And for me, St. Mary's is the place where I have chosen, week after week, year after year, to live out my Christian walk as a Catholic. St. Mary's is my parish. My commitment. As Jack just stated, there really is no one who can tell me how much to pledge. No one really can. But the more that I learn about St. Mary's situation and gain an insider's perspective, and the more I think about our mission, which is first and foremost to be people of the Eucharist, the more I'm drawn to look at what I really ought to give. I did not feel that way about the first 2 campaigns. And I asked myself, why? Well, maybe it's working with other members of this parish, as I have on the committee, who have been giving of their time and talent selflessly for months, and they're working extremely hard to address the financial issue that we're facing. Well, what else? The more that I spend time thinking about what happens to an organization under stress, the more I realize how deeply I care about the health of the parish. That is making me ask just one thing. Not what can I give, but what should I give? Have a confession. I could have given more during the first 2 campaigns. I should have. But today that's water under the bridge. Bottom line is that my involvement with the campaign has given me a head start thinking and praying about what my pledge should be. Making money decisions seems to always take longer than I expect, so thinking about it now will give me a head start on Pledge Sunday. It's my decision, it's my commitment. But what this is really all about is our future. What do we want to be as a parish? What could we be with less debt? It seems to me like I've been paying a mortgage for my entire adult life. But there's light at the end of the tunnel because I keep making my payments, but you know, I really wish I didn't have to. I'd rather give more to my kids, especially at this point where they're embarking on their adult lives. And I really want to be generous to any grandkids that come along, God willing. I know that that's more doable for me post-mortgage. And I think for our community, there's so much more that we could do post-mortgage. Our future, it will be better and brighter out from under our debt. There is good news here, and that's that we all can, if we choose to, make a difference here in our parish for our future.